Hello, and thank you for joining me here on So Sit Checks. I'm Miss Izzy, and today we're going to be talking about low-effort witchcraft. So for those days when your depression or chronic illness have you stuck in bed, there are still things you can do if you feel like you have to be productive or you're being a bad witch. One, remember that relaxing, self-care, these things are witchcraft. Taking that time for yourself is magic. And that is the number one most important thing you should be doing is taking care of you, because you are the most important tool in your craft. Another thing to consider is ways to tidy your magical space. If you really don't want to go anywhere, you can always just reorganize your altar, take it as a bonding experience with the divine, or organize your mind and meditate. I'm going to list some of my favorite meditations below, centered around the Greek gods, but I might throw a couple curveballs in there. And just meditate and take some time, either a guided meditation or just sounds that help you get into the zone and really vibe with the divine. But this isn't a necessity. You can also just take some time and journal. Maybe you want to let your mind wander and write some fanfics of the gods, your own mythos. Or you can go and organize some of your herbs and make your potions or powders or oils or whatever it is you use in your craft. Take the time to do this now, because this is a really easy activity, like grinding eggshells. I don't like to do this when I'm having a stay in bed day, but it works for some people. You could also decide to listen to a podcast. I'm going to list a bunch of my favorites below, some of them being The Fat Feminist Witch, Tea with the Gods, Occultism with a Side of Salt, and Rewilding with Sabrina. These are all great examples of ways to expand your mind and kind of advance your spiritual intelligence if you feel like it, or if you're willing, rather. Another thing that you could do is some shufflemancy. This is when you would take a playlist and shuffle it or count and pick the number that you've decided, and that song be the piece that you're using to divine with. I typically will just refresh my newsfeed, listening to the third song every time, and once I've done 3 of 3, I then use that as my big one. The other ones being like the random cards that pop out while you're shuffling, basically. Another way that I'll use shufflemancy is I'll put on a playlist with just videos from the professor Jackson Crawford, who I am going to list below. He'll do stories and all kinds of lessons about the Norse deities. And I will wake up after taking a nap, because yes, there is a nap involved in this one. I will wake up, and whatever story he's telling, I take as some kind of importance. And it's always different, and it's always interesting. And that's just a really basic way to do some shufflemancy. You could also do some bibliomancy. Maybe you just walk up to your bookcase, find a book, random, and that be your bibliomancy for the day. Or you could pick up a book, or pick that book that you picked randomly, flip to a page, and just do that. It's very low effort divination, but it's something that you can do to feel more in tune, or use it to think intuitively. Journal all these things down and keep a record so you know that you were productive on a day when you weren't productive. Even though production and being productive is just a state of mind. You don't have to constantly be doing something to be productive. Keeping your mind relaxed and keeping yourself at peace and being one with yourself, protecting the number one tool in your craft, is productive. And it is the best way for you to be a better witch. It's the best way for you to be a healthier, happier you. And you shouldn't ever tear down the idea of taking care of you. Me and my space buns know, after working all day, all we want to do is relax. Read a book, take a minute to breathe, or try as best I can. Watch something relaxing, like some low-effort witchcraft movies, not high-effort witchcraft like Harry Potter or Sabrina the Teenage Witch would count. Or certainly not The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, but something even more chill, like Chocolat, or Mistress of the Spices, or The Good Witch, which has a TV series and a movie. If you didn't know, you're welcome. Watch something like that, and then you'll know what I mean by low-effort witchcraft movies. It's where the elements of magic are more mundane, but they still happen. And it really brings your life into perspective and makes you just calm down. And I'm not sure, but The Good Witch is either by ABC Family or by Hallmark. I think it's Hallmark, which just tells you how chill it is. Because, the stakes are high, but they're not that high in a Hallmark movie. So, these are just a few basic ways that you can put yourself into some low-effort witchcraft. And remember, there's nothing wrong with not being productive. You're being productive by taking care of you. All right, thank you so much for joining me here on Sew Stitch Hex, and I hope to see you again next time. Have a wicked evening. Bye.